Welcome to the Becoming Eva podcast, where we discuss real-life issues from a woman's perspective.
Becoming Eva seeks to break the silence within the female community while fostering authenticity, transparency, and healing.
We're your hosts, Latoya Moore
and Maya Dawson.
Let's get started.
Hey!
Hi.
Happy Saturday!
Happy Saturday!
Y'all, it's been a minute. It's really been a minute, actually, since it's been just the two of us. So we're going to catch up this week. We're going to catch up and just, talk all things, what's trending, how we're doing. You can tell us how you're doing, all the things, okay? So welcome, BE community.
Welcome.
Yes. How's it going, Toya?
Well,
yes.
We went to the Falcons game on Sunday.
Wait, okay, who was playing?
It was Texans, of course, versus Falcons.
Look, you gotta school me. I don't know about football. I know Falcons and the Saints are rivals, but tell me about the Texans.
I don't know about if they're like rivals.
Really?
I don't know about that part.
I thought the Saints and the Falcons did not get along.
They don't.
Oh, okay, but
they don't. But I don't know about the Texans.
Got it. Okay.
I know some of those fans were acting a little crazy.
Well,
when they came into our section, we had these Falcons shirts that were on the seats for all the people in the 101 section. And so then there was like this group of 5 guys from, I guess they were Texans.
Of course.
Fans.
Of course.
And so they see the shirts and they just, ugh.
Oh, no.
Who wants this? And he was like, they were tossing the shirts to us.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh my goodness, it's already getting started. And this was before the game.
See?
But it was fun. It was Tennessee State marching band.
Okay.
I think it was halftime show. So it was really like a fun environment. Yeah. They did a lot of stuff to recognize breast cancer awareness. So I really loved that. It was just a fun environment.
Yeah, that's what's up. Now I know your husband Ryan is a huge football and Falcons fan for that matter. So I know he was in like 7th heaven. Yes. How did you feel? Did you have are you into football? Did you have a good time, or you like I'm here?
Time. I don't watch football because usually on Sundays, he's like, I'm folding laundry. That's his cue.
Let him multitask, girl. Let that man multitask.
I'll fold laundry and watch football all day.
Of course.
And then he normally says, you can take some me time.
Aww.
So I normally like football or me time.
Exactly.
I normally pick me time.
Exactly.
So I go out. I might go get some seafood. With my sister or a friend. Go walking. Go shopping. I use that day to take advantage.
Absolutely.
So I like going to the games though.
Okay. I could imagine that like the football games might be like the actual live games might be really energetic.
Yeah, it's fun. It's so fun. Except for it's a little bit annoying when you have people in the middle and they're constantly getting up to go to the concessions or bathroom.
They're blocking your view
5 times.
I'm trying to see.
Yes. So like you just got up like 5 minutes ago. Get your stuff and sit down.
Exactly. Sit down somewhere.
And people in the front of you that want to stand up and cheer every play, and you trying to like look around them, or you having to look at the screen like you're not a window. Yeah. But anyways, sometimes it's okay to stand up, and cheer like for a touchdown, but every single thing.
Yeah. Who ended up winning?
We did. It was a really good game.
Okay,
I think we won by like 1 point.
Okay.
So it was good. We stayed until the end.
I'm sure if it was like 1 point, you like, who's gonna win this? So that's what's up. Yes. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Well, I just got through celebrating my husband's birthday. We had a good time. It's always, even after all these years, still trying to figure out, okay, like, what does my husband like? What does he not like? What does he want to do? What does he not want to do? How do you like, make suggestions without running the show, without making it stuff you want to do? Because I'll be like, you want to do blah, blah, blah. And he'll be like, that's what you like. And I'll be like, okay, well, what do you like? I don't know. So just really trying to figure out like, how to celebrate him. So, but I think we had a good weekend. I think I did good. If you're in the chat, babe, you could tell me whether or not I did good or what I need to improve upon. But all that to say, like literally, just wanted to celebrate him the entire week, all weekend, and just make it about him. So we had a good time. And yeah, so I am recovering from that and trying to get back on track with the rest of life, the rest of, everything else. But I know we were talking earlier and it just seemed like today was kind of like one of those days where it just felt like everything was out of whack. So yeah, so all that to say, just had to take a minute, take a deep breath, and get it popping. So,
and this is the week where my kids are on fall break.
Oh,
so that's always hard.
Yeah,
having them all in the house.
Yes,
eating
all the food.
They want to be entertained.
Yes.
And every time they say that, I tell them to get a book and read if you're bored.
Amen. Amen.
Get a book. So it's been a full week.
Yeah.
We try to schedule like our medical appointments
that
for
makes
the
sense.
Kids during like break so that they don't miss school.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of running around to hospitals and medical offices and all of that stuff.
Makes sense.
My kids all have all these little special needs. So it's a lot.
They're individuals indeed.
Yes.
How do you entertain, like, or do you plan activities? Like, how does like break work for you? I think about like fall, because nowadays it's so many breaks. It's like fall break, you got Christmas break, you got winter break, you got spring break, then you got summer break. Like, do you plan activities? Are there camps? Do you take off work? Like, what do you do?
Well, my fall break actually started today.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different than them. They have the whole week. We have 3 days, but it's Thursday, Friday, Monday.
Okay.
So sometimes I can take PTO off so I can be off the entire time with them.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah.
As far as activities, we do try to plan like a family outing.
Okay.
And it depends on the break. Some breaks we can go out of town for like spring break.
Gotcha.
Christmas, it's a lot of stuff going on like here.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, since my family, they live in Missouri, sometimes we try to plan to travel. Or we were going to go out to California this year, but we are changing those plans. So we're not completely solidified with our Thanksgiving plans.
Yeah.
But fall break, we just kind of chill and catch up and rest. Because once the holidays get here, which they're here now, like everything just happens so quickly. Like my calendar is just packed with their activities, my school responsibilities, my work responsibilities. It's a lot.
Yeah, that's real. In Q4, you want to focus on finishing strong. And you always tell people after October, don't add nothing else to your calendar. For real. It's going to be all kind of stuff coming up. So just don't add nothing else to your calendar until just start looking at Q1 2020, the next year, 2024, whatever. So, all right. But yeah, so that's our lives. Yeah. I'm sure y'all got a lot going on as well. So, but we in this together, y'all. We're going to make it through. So, speaking of making it through, it's time for what had happened was, okay? So, what had happened was this week was actually National Mental Health Awareness Day. And we're actually in Mental Health Awareness Month, but the actual day for the world was this week. And so I thought it would be great for us to talk about, some mental health hacks that we have, as well as just things we may want to incorporate, because the reality of it is this, like, mental health impacts each and every one of us. And it's not just, this person's depressed, they have mental health issues, or this person is bipolar, they have mental health issues, or whatever, or you have some major diagnosis. But the reality of it is each and every one of us needs to practice effective mental health. Like, the world is crazy. Life is crazy. Whatever circumstances or situations you may be dealing with, can add on to that. And so mental health is really something that each and every one of us need to implement in our lives. And so I thought we would take some time and just kind of talk through some hacks and some ways that we exercise mental health or practice mental health on a regular basis. So
yes. Okay. So I'm going to be completely honest.
That's what we hear, sugar.
Because my life is extremely busy.
Yeah.
With 4 kids, working from home, full-time job, going to school, being a wife, being a mother, taking kids to extracurricular activities. My doctor was like, what about you?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
When do you have time to decompress?
Exactly.
Because you're very busy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there a light at the end of the tunnel? What are you doing daily to really do something for yourself?
Yeah.
And so she said, well, if it's just 5 minutes, take 5 minutes. Whether you've got to stretch, meditate, do yoga, you've got to do something that's just for you for at least 5 minutes. So things that I have been trying to do. Usually I get up early in the morning, around the same time the kids get up, and thankfully Ryan is usually able to help get them ready for school. I help with like their edges and hair and stuff like that. And then he allows me to work out in the morning. So I try to work out before work starts. And I'm finding that it's really beneficial for me, just like to get my body moving.
Absolutely.
Lifting some weights. So I try to do that at like at least 5 times a week. And sometimes I try to go outside and walk as well. I love just like the fresh air, because I'm working from home and I'm behind the computer for hours. And even when I'm doing my schoolwork, I'm on the computer. So I just like to go outside, even if it's just like 2 laps. And now that the sun is going down earlier, I have to try to get it in earlier in the day. Then I also like, sometimes it's really late at night, but I'll take a long hot bath.
Absolutely.
Even if it's late, even if I'm like really tired, because it kind of helps release like stress. Just like taking a long hot bath with candle music, or watching something on my iPad or something. But sometimes it's late at night, but I think it's really worth doing it at least once or twice a week for me. And then other things I like to do is like the stretching, even if it's like for 5 minutes. I at least try to do that. But those are things that I try to do, besides like my devotional time. Devotional time is definitely helpful for mental health. And I just have to kind of get creative in how I'm implementing it in my life. Even like if I take a break from work, for even if it's like 10 minutes, I try to, okay, let me do my devotional, let me get some coffee or tea or something, just kind of take a little pause. Otherwise, I can just keep going and going and going and going, and sometimes forget to eat. So I like to take those pauses, like even in the work day, just for my mental health.
Yeah, thank God for your doctor, because at the end of the day, I mean, yes, you are a busy person. A lot of these people, most of us have busy lives, and we use that as an excuse to not exercise mental health. But it's all the more reason why you need to. It's all the more reason why you need to. Like, you have to make yourself a priority, because here's the deal. If you don't, everything else that you named is what gonna fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you won't be able to be a good mom, a good wife, a good student, a good teacher. What, like, none of that if you are not whole, if you are not healthy.
Right.
And so you have to make yourself a priority, y'all. Like, it's essential. This is not the cherry on the top. This is not the, oh, when I get around to it, because you only have one you. And as far as the work piece is concerned, unless of course you work for yourself, guess what? Something happened to you, they're gonna replace you in a heartbeat. I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but
That's true.
I've seen it. I'm sure some of y'all have seen it. So it's like you literally have to be your own advocate. You have to, because it's rare that someone else will be, at least not to the extent that you need to be advocated for. So mental health is key. I would say for me, and really mental health for me really became important. I know for a lot of people, quite honestly, it became important during the pandemic. I mean, I think we all were just stretched to the limits in so many different ways due to so many different circumstances, home with kids, working from home, losing loved ones, being away from loved ones, being in isolation. It was just a lot, I'm sure, for everybody. So I think that's really when mental health kind of came on the radar for everyone as a whole, not just like your crazy cousin or your uncle that's been in the bedroom his whole life. Like, like, we think those are the people with mental health issues. We all have mental health issues, and we need to address them and exercise them. But for me personally, I would say when I was recovering from my stem cell transplant, gosh, probably about 7 years ago. And I had my own, I had my own isolation period, because my immune system was literally being rebooted. I couldn't be around a lot of people. I had to be indoors. I had to stay home. I couldn't travel, things of that nature. But literally, that's when God started rebuilding my life, from the inside out. And I literally had to look at, okay, what do I need to do to maintain um, my positive mental state, like moving forward, period, consistently, not just while you're in the season of recovery, but how is my life going to look when I go back to work full time? How is my life going to look when I start engaging more freely with friends and family? How's my life going to look when I start traveling more? How's my life going to look when I pick up my wifely duties again around the house or whatever, And so really trying to really taking that time to figure out, what do I need to do in order to be healthy from the inside out? And a lot of what you said is key. Those breaks, those mini breaks, those are key. And we often think, okay, mental health, I can't go on a vacation every month or every other month, or, even once a quarter or once a year. But those breaks are key, even if it is just 5 minutes. The key is being consistent. So if it's starting with 5 minutes and saying, I'm going to take 5 minutes each morning and I'm going to sit in silence, I'm going to sit in solitude, I'm not going to be looking at my phone as soon as I roll out of the bed. Like, if it means just starting with 5 minutes, then just start with 5 minutes, and then it will build from there. But you want to be consistent and taking breaks throughout the day. Okay. Giving yourself those pit stops, if you will, throughout the day. Once you complete a major task, maybe, okay, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go get me a snack, I'm going to stretch my legs, whatever, or if you just need a minute because whatever meeting is coming up can be a bit overwhelming, or it's going to be taxing. Okay, let me get some fresh air, let me make sure I'm in the positive headspace, whatever you need to do. But those breaks throughout the day are just as important, because we're not machines, people. We are not machines, and we need to figure out what each of us needs individually and personally in order to function at our optimal, because that's really what it's about. And I think a lot of people have thought in the past. I feel like this myth is being dispelled now, thankfully. But I think in the past, a lot of people thought if I just go nonstop, I'll get everything done. When in fact, no, because if you don't take time to sharpen that axe, if you don't take time to rest, to be refreshed, then your productivity goes down, So making sure that you have those breaks allows you to be that much more effective and productive when you are on, So miniature breaks is key. I'm a nature person as well. Actually, one thing that my husband and I have gotten back into this year is, I during the pandemic was doing like walking outside and everything and hiking, but we really got back into like hitting the trail consistently. And I've actually gotten back into running again. I'm like, oh my gosh. Because for me, running is one of those things where it's like, okay, am I just going to keep adding a lap like to infinity? Like that to me is intimidating, because it's like, okay, like just when you hit one milestone, it's like, okay, keep going. So I've really been just trying to take it one day at a time, really. And as I'm working, and as my endurance is building, and as my the length or the distance that I'm going is increasing, just being like, okay, well, God, I'm gonna trust you with this. I'm gonna trust you with this mile. I'm gonna trust you with 2, 3, 4, however many miles, you grace me to do, and not get caught up in, oh God, eventually I'm gonna have to run however many miles. So, but all that to say, that has helped tremendously, because it's outdoors, number one. You're getting your heart going, you're breathing that fresh air, and for me, honestly, I get a lot of ideas while I'm working out as well, between working out and while I'm in the shower. That shower time, if you get you some essential oils, you could even get you a waterproof speaker if you need. But I'm like, you could turn that shower situation into a spa time if you need to, for 5-10 minutes or whatever. But I usually get a lot of like great thoughts or insights or just solutions to, whatever problems I may be running up against. That's another reason to take breaks as well, because when you step away from something, you can, kind of see it from a different perspective and come back to it. But all that to say, those are great things that I incorporate. And I try to use the model of taking breaks daily, of course, but then once a weekend, or one weekend a month, like doing nothing or reducing my schedule as much as possible, meaning I'm not committing to anything. I may have to do my regular stuff, or I may have to take care of my family, my household, or whatever, but I'm not doing anything else. Like if you ask me, the answer is going to be no. And that's once a month. And then once a quarter, like if it's a getaway, if it's a trip, if it's a retreat or whatever, like literally building in breaks, that way. That has helped me tremendously. And then of course, you already talked about the whole meditation piece, starting your day with quiet time with God. For me, that helps set the tone for the rest of my day. So I usually will do quiet time, then I will work out, and then I will enter into my day. And I try not to look at my phone. Bad habit, though. I will say nowadays, I think I do look at my phone sooner than I should, but trying not to really engage or look at my phone until after I've worked out, because you want to make sure that your time is your time. Because otherwise, once you start looking at them emails and text messages, you're thinking about, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to call her, I got to call him, I got to talk to him. So it can be a lot, but I just want to dispel the myth that mental health is just for people that have like visible issues. At the end of the day, we all have issues. We all need Jesus, but we all need to exercise mental health. It's very important. So, yeah. Anything else for mental health? A lot there, y'all. A lot to unpack. So, all right. Well, we got to talk. What's trending? Okay. I know it's been a minute, but it's a lot of hot topics out there. The first one is not, it's a hot topic, but it's hot for the wrong reason. So we're just going to say pray for Israel. As y'all know, there's, been decades, centuries. Really, if you go back into the word of God, you see just the root between the conflict, if you will, between Israel and Iran or Palestine. And so in this case, Palestine, or I should say a militia group from Palestine, invaded Israel recently. And so there's been a lot of conflict going on there. And of course, Israel's God's people. So I'm always like, pray for Israel, but then also thinking too, from a global perspective, who the U.S. aligns themselves with, of course, it always puts us in a position where we eventually have to take a stand as well. So I just want to encourage you. I don't know where you stand on the issue, but pray. I'm just going to leave it at that. Pray. And specifically, if you call yourself a follower of Jesus Christ, pray for God's people, the country of Israel, because it's a lot there going on, not only now, but as a long history attached to that as well. So,
yeah. And with all the stuff that's going on in Israel, I have been going back into my Bible. Like, I've read my Bible probably 3 times in total, like from front to back. But I wanted to kind of get a refresher.
Yeah.
And so I went all the way back to Genesis, and that's what I've been reading up on this week, because this is biblical.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it starts back with Abraham. And so I have been reading back on the scriptures between Abraham and Sarah, and how Abraham wanted an heir, and they were getting old. And Sarah was like, well,
go on, take Hagar.
And they had Abraham and Hagar had Ishmael. And then, God later on, God said, I'm still gonna bless you with an heir with Sarah. And then Abraham was like, but I'm like old, basically. And Sarah is old too. She's 99. She old.
Exactly.
So they ended up having, God bless Sarah's womb, and they ended up having Isaac. And so the half brothers, Isaac and Ishmael, and then of course Isaac became the favorite because Isaac was a fulfillment of a promise, and Ishmael was not. It was kind of more like a fulfillment of the flesh, because I have all this stuff. I need an heir. I don't have an heir. Sarah's not giving me any heirs. So, they kind of took it in their hands to kind of force having an heir with, she was an Egyptian slave woman. And so I've been reading up on that. And it's been very interesting to see what the Bible is saying is playing out in real time.
Exactly. And it has been for centuries, for decades. Like this conflict has been going on since that time. And so this is just the latest installment of it. Yeah.
Right.
But that, as you were talking, it made me think of, that's the original blended family. That was the first blended family, y'all, where, we had to work it out. We had to figure it out. But
and then they sent Hagar away. Because Sarah didn't like how Ishmael was making fun of Isaac and treating Isaac. So she sent them away. She had Abraham send them away. I was like, ooh. I mean, it's just like, it's so many layers.
So many. Because I'm like, Hagar, if I was Hagar, I've been like, you the one that asked me to go have this baby, and now you feeling some type of way because I didn't have the baby, But then even thinking about when Sarah, well, not Sarah, Cynthia, where Hagar left because she was being mistreated, God goes and meets her in the desert, and what? Sends her back. I would have been like, God, for real? They're treating me crazy over there. You want me to go back? You want me to go back? But God, in his infinite grace, is like, I got you. I know you ain't asked for none of this, but I got you. I got your son too. I need you to go back. What in the world? Because he gave a promise to Ishmael too. Honestly and truthfully, he gave a promise to Ishmael too. In the midst, despite their disobedience, he gave a promise to Ishmael too. That's what's amazing to me about God's grace. But yes, read it in Genesis, read it for yourself, so you can kind of find out the Genesis, pun intended, of this whole situation. Like, it's real, it's biblical. So
right. And then again, the Bible just encourages us as believers to pray for peace.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
pray for Israel.
Yes. And pray for their salvation. We need some more messianic Jews for real. Like that they know Jesus, came and he coming back, like for real. But all that to say, that's a whole nother conversation, another topic. So pray for Israel, all right, and pray for the conflict that's going on over there now with Palestine. Number 2, is chivalry dead? Okay, so the reason I'm asking this, and I feel like we've talked a little bit about this, but not in this regard. So it came up again because Tia Mowry, formerly Tia Mowry Hardrick, she's divorced from her husband. I think they were married 15 years, Corey Hardrick. They have 2 children, a son and a daughter. But needless to say, she is single. She is out here in them dating streets again. As in her early 40s, a woman of particular age, a single mother of 2. And she was like, these men don't know how to court no more. These men, like, they don't know how to treat women. And so it really made me think, like, I mean, we're not in that scenario or situation. I know we've talked about how times have changed, but do you think chivalry is dead? Do you think men know how to court? And if they don't, why?
Ooh, I don't think it's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Just from my personal experience, with Ryan, and I do plan to teach my son Mason about chivalry.
Yes, but I'm like, that was like 12, 15. You know what I mean? Like, that was
my sister says that too.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, now, do you think it's dead now?
Changed.
That's what I'm saying. Do you now looking at the dating scene?
Well, I don't know, because they've got all the apps and the different stuff. So yeah, it's different. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it's like when you're interacting in person versus we chatting, sending messages. I don't know how that stuff works, but I guess is that how it works? You kind of like swipe. I think you cute. I don't know how it works. So I guess I'm old school. So
that's hilarious.
I don't know what it's like once you're interacting in person, face to face.
Gotcha.
If you've met them via internet.
Yeah, the internet game is
So chivalry, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I got lucky, because Ryan, he had chivalry.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Chivalry. Those that are married now, hopefully you've experienced chivalry and you're still experiencing chivalry. I'm just saying, for those in these dating streets today, those of you that you know of that are either dating, that are single, that are like, do you feel like there's still a standard when it comes to courting, or is it just the Wild Wild West?
I feel like, from what I've heard from my single people, it kind of seems like it's the Wild Wild West. I'm like, oh man, I don't know.
Why do you think that is, though?
Oh, that's a good question. It could be a combination of things. I think it could be what you've seen, how you were raised, from your examples, the role models. I feel like internet has played a role in kind of distracting or almost destroying social skills, because we have these different platforms to socialize virtually, all the social media platforms and all the dating apps. They may not know how to have the proper social skills to interact with an opposite sex person.
Toya, I think you're onto something.
So I think really it's internet. It's technology that has kind of, taken over.
Dare we say that social media has destroyed our social skills?
Well, I mean, and I work for a virtual school.
Yeah.
And a lot of the students do struggle a little bit with those social skills because they're virtual. Yeah. And it's different from being in person, where you can work on those social skills and kind of learn behaviors and how to engage and interact, which is why we are very intentional at trying to create opportunities for students to engage in person.
Yeah.
and to learn how to kind of create friends, because what do you do after high school if you stay until you're high school? You eventually go to college. You got to know how to talk to people. You got to know how to engage. You got to know how to interview for a job position.
Exactly.
Like, there's so many different social skills that I feel like we learned as kids, because we didn't really have, well, we had internet, but it wasn't like it is now. We had AOL.
I remember AOL, girl. I remember my AOL account. Don't sleep. Now look, you know you're a woman of a certain age if you remember what AOL stands for.
Yes.
You remember what AOL stands for?
I don't remember what it stands for. What does it stand for?
America Online.
America Online?
I think so. Y'all check me on that. But AOL, if you remember AOL, then you know.
I remember that.
Yep, that dial-up. Girl, we thought we were doing something too. We were like, look, we online, y'all. We online. I'm about to send you an email.
You can't use the landline if you were using the internet.
Sure couldn't. You sure could not. My Lord. We didn't come a long way.
We came a long way.
Yeah.
So usually we would use internet just for homework.
Yeah.
And like I told you all, I grew up very structured.
Yeah.
We didn't really watch TV except from the weekend. And then we were doing activities. So really we didn't really watch that much TV even when we were allowed to watch it.
Yeah.
So I feel like we didn't really have as many distractions. So we were able to really learn how to socialize, engage, go outside, play with the neighborhood kids, Foursquare, hopscotch, just like playing. You don't see that nowadays, not because of just like internet, but even safety too. Like we're helicopter parents, and when we allow our kids to play outside, we are right there somewhere. You're gonna see our eyeballs.
Exactly.
We're just not gonna let them be playing down the street. Like, I want to put my eyes on you, just because like the world is just so crazy.
It's different,
and we're more aware of the craziness. How you can look to see if you have any child offenders in your neighborhood, like all that kind of stuff plays in my mind. And I'm like, nah, y'all can't just be out there without any adult supervision. Facts. So it's just different times.
It is. And I mean, I have no problem with, going to school online, working online. Hopefully you're getting in that social time in other ways or other aspects. But I definitely feel like our screen time has gone up, just by virtue of the fact that, people live on their phones. I got my first cell phone after I graduated from college. And at the time it was supposed to be for emergencies only. Like, and now, people live on their phones, may not even have a landline, but that's like their primary source, not only of communication, but research, all kinds of stuff. So like literally you're engaging with this piece of technology or video games or television or whatever, or computers, laptops, tablets, more than physical people. And so to that extent, I do believe that it has caused social skills to deteriorate. I've worked with college students in doing like mentoring and coaching, and something as simple as eye contact. Like, you're interviewing for a position, I need you to look me in the eye, like talk to me, acknowledge me, because in a lot of cases, these young adults or these young students, they're not used to that. It almost feels awkward for them, like, but I'm like, eye contact is key, not looking all around, being shifty with your hands, like literally engaging the people that are in front of you, but for some that's more uncomfortable than being on your phone or being on your tablet. And sadly, it's for a lot of young adults or adults as well, and those that are out here in this single game, this dating game. It's hard. Now I will say there's one thing that she brought up. She was talking about how men don't necessarily view women as the prize anymore.
Ooh.
And that sparked a conversation. So first of all, I want to ask, do you think a woman should deem herself as the prize? And if so, why?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a real good one.
I definitely think it kind of correlates with how you view yourself. How you view yourself as valuable. So
absolutely.
Yes, I feel like when I was in my singlehood, I felt I am the prize.
Absolutely.
Like I have education, I've got a job, like XYZ, like I cook, I clean. Yeah. You know, I am the prize.
Treat me as such.
Treat me as a queen. So yeah, I think so.
And I agree. I have no problem with that as well. Then there were men that weighed in and said, "Well, aren't men considered the prize as well?" What are your thoughts on that?
I do think men can be also considered the prize as well. I think it depends on a person's personality and what they have invested in themselves. I think if you want a certain type of man, then you have to bring something to the table.
Facts.
As well. You can't just say, I want this type of man and you not doing anything to invest in yourself and develop yourself.
Facts.
So I think men can consider themselves the prize too, and it determines. I guess it's determined by their personality and their character and what they value. So
yeah, I mean, there's so much here to unpack. I feel like we could be talking about this all day because I mean, I agree. I believe whoever you allow to pursue you as a woman should be deemed the prize as well. Because but again, why are they the prize? For me, my husband was the prize. I remember specifically calling him a diamond. I knew my husband was a diamond because of his character. I knew he was a diamond because of the way that he treated me. I knew he was a diamond because of the calling on his life. Those were the reasons I knew he was a diamond in that moment. It wasn't, okay, this brother has this job or drives this car, makes this amount of money. All of those things are great. I'm not saying don't look for that or ask for that. I'm just saying, first of all, to the point of what Latoya was saying, make sure you bringing that to the table as well. How much you make, what you drive, what you do for a living, all that. Okay. But then also too, like, make sure that's not the cake. That's the icing on the cake. Because at the end of the day, the cake is what I just said. Character, their relationship with God, how they treat the women that are already in their lives. Like, that's the cake, because life be lifing.
Yes.
And when life start lifing, you're going to need somebody that's going to rise to the occasion and not just shrivel up and shrink back like, oh, I don't know about all this. I don't do this. I don't do hardship. I don't do, I don't do sickness.
I don't do
exactly. I don't do all that. Like, that's real. That's real. When life be lifing, you're going to need somebody to stand the test of time. That's all I'm saying.
Sometimes when these men be trying to holler at me, I might have like one kid with me, right? And so I know what they're getting at. Like, okay, is this your only child? As soon as I say no, I have 4 kids, they be like, okay, ma'am,
have a good
nice day.
Yep, have a nice day.
Yeah, keep it moving. You can't handle this.
That's real. That's real. But I'm telling you, when life start lifing, you want to make sure that you have someone that will be able to stand the test of time with you. Okay. So that is topic number 2 of what's trending. Topic number 3. Okay. And I promise you, as I was like preparing for us to talk about this, I'm like, I'm so tired of talking about these people. I'm so tired of talking about them. I'm like, okay, but anyway, we gotta talk about it, which honestly I think is part of their plan anyway. But Will and Jada, y'all, Will and Jada. Okay, so Jada recently released a memoir called Worthy. Okay. And she's done several interviews, but she did a very in-depth interview on Today, I think. So all that to say, during the interview and in her book, she discloses that she and her husband Will have been separated, meaning living in separate homes, separate houses, living separate lives since 2016.
Before the slap.
Yes, the slap was just in 2022. Now, if y'all are watching this, it's 2023. If you're watching this live or you watching this after the fact, okay? So that means they've been separated for 7 years. They've been living completely separate lives for 7 years. To your point, Latoya, the slap happened in 2022, okay? And then even if we want to take it back even further, the entanglement, I believe, at least let's say the news of the entanglement and them addressing that whole situation together as a united front happened after 2016 as well. So I just want to ask, in her interview, she says, although they live separate lives, and they have been separated for 7 years, she just can't bring herself to divorce. And so I'm not a proponent for divorce. I'm really not. This couple makes me rethink it though. But I will just say, do you think separation is better than divorce?
I feel like it's one and the same. Because if you're separated, you're living in different houses, different homes.
Yeah.
Doing whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you living different lives.
Living different lives.
You do you, I do me.
Basically, not married. You just have the title of that you're still married, but not really married. Because married people don't live in separate homes.
Yeah. So I guess I'm just trying to figure out, like, what do you think her rationale is for not getting divorced? Like not making it official.
There's lots of reasons for that.
Okay.
I mean, it's Will Smith. You got the last name.
Okay.
You know he's a well-known actor.
Yeah.
Makes good money. You have kids with the man. Like,
they're adults now, though.
That's true. They're adults now. But I think in her situation, it's kind of like holding on to the image. Will and Jada image. Like they've been a thing for a long time.
Yeah, they've been the it couple since they've been married, pretty much. They got married in 1997, so 25 years they've been married.
I think it's kind of hard to kind of let go, especially when you've been in a marriage for that long too.
Yeah,
you guys have been in the public for so long.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like I don't know. It's a lot to lose. You gotta go back to pick it.
You mean pick it? Talk about pick it. I was like pick it, like pick it with a sign, pick it outside. But pick it. Okay, I got you. I get what you're saying.
Smith, people know you. You are Will's wife. Well,
okay. Okay. So say that's Jada's reason.
Okay.
What's Will's reason?
Probably pride. Ego. I mean, I don't know what happened between the first wife. I know people have said stuff that Jada was the reason why he left the first wife and all of that. So it could be pride and ego. Like, dang,
that's a tough one.
I left my first wife for you.
Yeah. That's a tough one. And I know he particularly has gone to great lengths, like painstaking lengths to like maintain this image, But I'm thinking like to the point of slapping Chris Rock, to the point of addressing rumors of your wife stepping out on you. And not to say that there aren't rumors about him stepping out, but at the same time, like, you still trying to maintain his image, even though like it's all kinds of stuff chipping away at it. Like, why?
Sometimes when
when
you're
you're in a
toxic
toxic
relationship,
relationship,
you
you
almost
almost
kind of
kind of
feed off of
feed
each
off of
other
each
and
other and
thrive
thrive
Yeah,
off of
off of
that.
that.
yeah.
So I
So
don't
I don't
know if
know
it
if
is
it
a
is a
toxic
toxic
Yeah.
relationship. I
relationship. I
mean,
mean,
they doing
It sounds like it
entanglement
is. I'm
and
just
sin.
saying. It
I
don't
don't know.
sound healthy.
It doesn't sound
It really
healthy.
don't.
But
But
sometimes
sometimes
people have
people
a
have a
hard
hard
time
time
because
because
they
they
kind of
kind of
feed off
feed
of
off of
that and
that and
live
live
off of that
Yeah.
off of that
being
being
toxic.
toxic.
So
So
Well, Jada, first of all, I
or
really
or
dysfunctional,
dysfunctional,
maybe
maybe
dysfunctional.
dysfunctional.
Like
yeah.
Like
they
they
make
make
that's
that's
maybe they're
maybe they're
normal,
normal,
like
like
dysfunctional.
dysfunctional.
I just, yeah, that's rough, man. Because I honestly and truthfully, I think the world of Will and Jada, like
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
individuals and as a family, as a couple, and so it's heartbreaking, but at the same time, it's tiring because I'm like, first of all, Jada, why you keep saying stuff? Like, why you keep putting stuff out there? And then I feel like Will is still just kind of trying to hold it together. But I'm like, should you be trying to hold it together? Like, it's just a lot. It's really a lot, y'all. And there were all kinds of conversations because it was rumored, of course, that he stepped out with the person who played Barbie, Margot Robbie, because they worked in several films together. And so it's just everybody been like, well, this wouldn't have happened if you was with Margot. This wouldn't, I'm like, oh God, y'all. Leave Jada alone to that extent. But at the same time, I'm like, Jada, why you keep saying stuff? Why do you keep saying stuff? I really,
You supposed to keep the
Stuff that
stuff that
happens in
happens
your
in your
house
house
in the
in the
house.
I
house.
mean, for real. But I'm like, maybe it almost makes me feel like, is this your attempt at trying to stay relevant? Because I'm like,
Or
Or
attention.
yeah, because I'm like, it's too much. It's at the expense of your husband now, really, quite honestly. Because the more stuff she says, the crazier he look. Honestly, that's all I'm saying. So yeah, pray for Will and Jada. No, and I mean that sincerely. I'm not trying to put a band-aid on it because I know my husband and I were talking. He was like, do you think they should get a divorce? Do they? And I was like, honestly, I really just want both of them to get saved first because like that right there will address everything else. So I'm
That's
serious
true.
when I say pray for Will and Jada. Like I really want them to like be whole and healthy,
Yeah.
mentally, emotionally, and most importantly, spiritually. So, but yeah, that concludes what is trending. So yeah, let's move on into top picks. So, what have you been reading, watching, listening to? Anything you want to plug for the people?
Well, I'm
Well, I'm
still
still
reading
reading
Growth
Growth
Mindset
Mindset
Yeah.
by
by
Carol Dweck.
I
And I
don't
don't know if I'm saying
her
her
last name
last
right.
name right.
Mhm.
It is
It is
really interesting.
really
I know I
interesting.
have
I
to
don't
read
have
it
to
for
read it for
school,
school,
Mhm.
but
but
part of
part of
the
well, the
chapter that
chapter
I'm
that I'm
in
in
talks
talks
about
about
having
having
either a
either a
fixed
fixed
mindset or
mindset
a
or
growth
growth
mindset
mindset
Mhm.
in
in
your
your
relationships.
relationships.
Mhm.
When you're
When
talking
talking
about a
about a
spouse
spouse
or
Mhm.
or
even
even
friendships.
friendships.
Mhm.
So it's
So
been
it's been
really
really
interesting
That's
interesting
good.
reading
reading
it,
it,
and
and
I'm
I'm curious
curious on how the
on how the
professor is going
professor
to
is going to
have
have
us
us
correlate it
correlate it
back
back
to
to
the
the
topic
topic
of
of
leadership,
Yeah.
leadership,
and how
and how
you kind of
you
use
kind of
those
use those
skills
skills
when you're
when you're
developing
developing
relationships with
relationships
your
with
Yeah.
your
colleagues,
colleagues,
at
at
having a
having a
growth
growth
mindset
mindset
versus a
versus a
fixed
fixed
mindset.
mindset.
So it's
So it's
really
really
interesting,
interesting,
just
just
learning
learning
about
about
that
that
Yeah.
as
versus
far as
what
what
I'm
I'm
reading and what I've been
reading and
Mhm.
reading
what I've been reading
lately.
lately.
Watching
Watching
me and
me and
Ryan have
Ryan have
been
been
watching
watching
All
All
Right.
Right.
That's our
That's
little
our
show
little
that
show
we
that we
like to
like to
watch.
watch.
Mhm.
What about
What
you?
about you?
I have been watching All Rise too. I think this is their last season, if I'm not mistaken. So I was like, oh,
I'm not
I'm not
fully
fully
caught up
caught
yet,
up
I'm not
yet,
so
gonna,
but
yeah, I'm
go
not gonna say
ahead.
anything, but yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna miss this little show. But yeah, I knew something was going on though because they took a super long break after they moved to OWN, and so. But I have been watching All Rise. I really love Simone Missick, the person who plays the judge, the main character on there. So yeah, I've been watching All Rise as well. I also watched The Other Black Girl on Hulu, which I highly recommend, especially
It's
It's
called
called
The
The
Other
Other
Black
Black
Girl.
Girl.
yes, it's called The Other Black Girl on Hulu.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I highly recommend it if you work in corporate America,
Is it a
Is it
especially.
a
TV show
TV
or a
show
It
or a
is.
movie?
It's a
movie?
TV show. It's a series. Like,
Okay.
and
Okay.
so I really enjoyed it. I work in corporate America, and I was like, oh my gosh, I get this girl so much because oftentimes I find myself being the only person of color in meetings or teams or, groups or what have you, and at times you may feel like, okay, is it me? Like, am I tripping? Or is there really something else, like an undercurrent going on here? And so it really addresses that, and from the stance of like it being like a psychological thriller. And so I really enjoyed it. I binged it in like a whole day, and I'm hoping that they go for it with a second season. But I really enjoyed it. So it's The Other Black Girl on Hulu. Very, very good.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna
download
download
Yes.
because
episodes
I'm
because I'm
going to
going to
Florida.
Florida.
Remember
Remember
Okay.
next week.
And
Check
shout
it
out
out.
to
Shout out to
Wanda.
Florida.
She got to get her cupcakes. She got to get her
Cupcakes.
cupcakes.
Don't forget about the
Yeah.
cupcakes. I'm going to
She
send
gonna,
text
she
message
gonna
to
track
remind
you
you.
down. She gonna track you down. How you leave on your lunch
Yeah.
break to bring her some cupcakes.
Ooh,
Ooh,
that's
And
cute.
look, and if you do, don't forget my red velvet. That's all I'm saying. Matter of fact, bring me two because I owe my husband one. So yes, but all that to say, yes, check out The Other Black Girl when you get a chance. And I will say I have started reading, y'all. Like I really felt like motivated. Like I was like, everybody naming all these books. I'm like, oh my God, I need to read more. But number one, I am unofficially doing a Bible study. Look, Paula Bryant Ellis, if you are watching this, one of our amazing hosts from season 6, I believe it was, invited us to be a part of a Bible study. I didn't make the first one. My husband was having a medical situation, so I missed that one. I don't know if I'm gonna make this next one, but I have been reading the book. Okay, she hasn't invited us to participate in a Bible study. We're reading the book called The Power of the Names of God by Dr. Tony Evans. I love Dr. Tony Evans. But all that to say, really enjoying it. I mean, literally, he's taking like 4 names of God and breaking that thing down. When I say breaking it down, like, I mean, yeah, Jehovah Jireh, my provider, but I mean, like, what does that really mean? Where did that come from? How did it originate? And, how is it applied to your life today? Like, really, really good stuff. Really good
When
stuff.
is the
when is the
next
next
Bible
Bible
study?
study?
It's every third Saturday. Every third Saturday. So yes. But so I have been reading that. I'm keeping up, even though I haven't made the meetings. And then I actually started reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. Very, very good book. It's a bestseller. A lot of people that I know have either read it or listened to it. But what I love about it is you can apply these principles to any aspect of your life. If it's, growing your business, if it's losing weight, if it's being a better athlete, but really talking about how you can take an assessment of your regular day-to-day habits and look at how you can tweak them, even if it's just by like 1%, but how you can tweak them to become slightly better, slightly more efficient, and use them to just improve in whatever area you're trying to focus on. And so very, very good book. Great read. So yes, those are the 2 books that I'm reading right now. And I think that's it for my top picks. I think that's it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we want to hear from you. If you haven't already given us topics or suggestions or things that you want us to discuss, things you want us to weigh in on, if you need advice in a certain area, we'll try our best or bring in an expert. If there are people that you want to hear from, say, hey, I think this person would be a great guest on your show, whatever. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your suggestions, events, all of that. If there's something that you think would be a great event for us to host, let us know, because this is for you. This platform is for you, and we want to serve you to the best of our ability. So let us know, and yeah, we'll do our
Don't
best.
forget to get
Your
your
Yes,
merch.
please get your merch.
BecomingEvaToday.com. Water
Water
bottles.
bottles.
Get
Get
your
your
mugs.
mugs.
Get
Yes,
your
Your
shirts.
shirts.
your
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 bags.
slides.
slides.
Your
Your
totes.
tote.
All
All
that
that
good
good
stuff.
stuff.
And we will see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe to our
Please,
YouTube
y'all.
channel.
Yes, follow us.
Please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at Coming Eva Today.
Yes, and we will see y'all next time. All right, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.